What is up, you guys? As you know, I like to just sit and I look through comments and like so many messages. So I like to come up with these topics. This is Seth Leroy Hustle Adventures, and this first topic is going to be what to expect picking up and dropping off loads. What to know. Let's get right into it. Now, I wanted to do this topic because a lot of people ask me, like, well, what do you do? What's this? What's that? And for the most part, it's pretty simple as you get doing it, as you do it. Like, I mean, some of the jargon, some of the terminology, like being a straight truck driver, like I already knew roughly, and working at warehouses where I was loading trucks and things of that nature. And two, it's pretty common sense. It's not rocket science. Like a lot of people say, like, can you do one of like exactly the paperwork? Like, I mean, it's literally sign it and get copies. But there's more that goes into it. My daughter's using this one thing that we use for their birthdays. Now let's get right into it, because there are things that are good to know. So know your dimensions. I mean, there's been a couple times, I'm 127 inches deep, 50 inches, 52 and a half inches wide from the wheel wells, and then 50 inches high. Now, I've had times where I walk up and like instantly a couple forklifters, because I've been a forklifter, don't want to go outside, don't want to load you if it's a ramp. I've had things like that, but instantly they'll instantly try to be like, that won't fit, that's not going to fit. I've had that about 3-4 times where they're just not going to fit. And then I go, it's 177 inches deep. It's this, that, so that's like instantly something that you want to just be on point with, because that will happen right away. So, because understandably people don't want to, but their logistics team, their people, their bosses want it loaded and they want it delivered. So, and another thing is be confident. And that's what I'm saying. When you say your dimensions and stuff, be confident about it. Don't act all meek or like you're just trying to get loaded up, or, go in there and be like, yeah, we're loading this up. That's what's happening, By all means, get it loaded is the next thing I wrote. And that's the thing is, like, I've had times, one time, I've had to be like, okay, we're going to break down this pallet, all these pallets, and that's just what we do. We're going to break down these pallets and we're going to get it loaded. Like you got to be confident. You just got to be on point with it. Understanding the stigma I put too, because understanding just like that it's not as normalized as it, but some places are. Some places you go in and they're like literally like, yep, you're right here, do, unload, load, no questions. Like even ones where, because expediting is important, you know what I mean? Like when something needs to be sent and they're not trying to pay a big truck driver, a lot of money, it's important. It's imperative. So like that's the thing too. The stigma is like sort of like, oh, we got to load this up, and oh, it's just one pallet or 3 pallets like mine can fit. I even did 4 pallets one time. We put 3 in, and then one I said, okay, let's break this one down. We'll put all the boxes up here. We'll put that back there. It was a thing, and it worked, and it wasn't even that big of a deal because I'm a hard worker. To me, it's just like, let's get it loaded up. So now the thing that I said right after that too is you got to understand where the forklift is coming from, because I've been a forklifter loading trucks. I mean, I get it. Like, you have to be respectful. When I'm saying be confident and stuff, I'm not saying being a jerk. I'm not saying like being like, well, it's going to get loaded and that's what's happening, because that is not the route to go. I'm saying actually understand, where everyone's coming from in life. They might not like being a forklift driver. They might not like working at a warehouse, because I've been there. I did like it, but sometimes you don't like it, you know what I mean? It depends on the day, depends on what they're going through. They don't want the load to be canceled, remember that. Because there's ones who will just like be like, oh yeah, can you find another driver? Can you do this? Can you, we need something a little bigger, even though it'll fit. That's why I'm saying know the dimensions too, and know that they do not want to cancel. Like their higher ups do not want it canceled, you know what I mean? And next was problem solve. Problem solve, just figure any way out to get it to work. And be cool about it. Like, yeah, just think. Like, don't be like soft spoken. Like I said, be confident. Just be like, well, we can do this. Break down the pallet. Do this. If manual label is involved too, you can get more money. I didn't know that at first. Like when I said I broke down that whole thing, did the 3 pallets, and then the one that I loaded or whatever, and had the 4th one loaded, broken down. I didn't know all that cost more money. And then I hand unloaded it when I got to California. I just didn't care though too. So then the next thing is don't be a dick. And that's what I was talking about is like, don't be a, I forgot they're in here. Yeah, no swearing, my bad. So yeah, just, you know what, don't be a jerk, you know, and if you are, you know, there's been a couple times where they went the extra length to figure out a way for it to work with me because, you know, I'm real cool. I had one cancellation though where they straight up were like, we don't load these, and then they canceled. Got about $140 for the cancellation, picked something up about 100 miles away, and for the same amount, $600 for like 400 miles, something like that, 450 miles. But anyway, so that's why too, like, and then when that one didn't, I was frustrated, but I just, you know, moved on. I just said, okay, you know, whatever. Was annoyed, but get extra paperwork though if needed. Like I said, like people have told me to see if I could just do, but it's so standard. It's just like, you get a copy, you bring a copy, the bill of lading signed, you know, uploaded to your factoring service. It's like, there's a lot of stuff on that on YouTube, and maybe eventually I'll do one, but it's pretty standard as you go along, because this is a little different than when I was driving straight truck. They were still signing and the bill of lading and all that, but it was just, there's just one extra step is to get paid by doing the factoring company, and we go through Bobtail. And then we go through dispatchers too, but that you get paid weekly with the ones that you have, that you partnered with. It's a partnership. I'm doing a video on that too, that whole realm in a little bit too. I don't know, that'll come out after this one. And also I wrote expediting important, and you know, like I was talking about, crabby people, unhappy people, lazy people. That's why I'm saying, like, you're gonna run into where they just don't want to do it, where they're just like crabby, you know, and it is what it is. Like, that's why I was saying when I did drive straight truck, and it is like this at every job, but it was actually really good for me because I already had an understanding of, you know, the jargon, the terms, and just, you know, just getting it done and knowing your dimensions. 80% I'd say have been cool in the 3 months or 4 months, whatever it's been that I've been doing this, 3.5 months. Cool, you know, cool. Like, you know, understand, yeah, this is what we do, because it's becoming much more normalized. And some even had a dock for us. Like, an airport had docks literally for our size vehicles, and then there's other ones. So many of them have ramps, and just, you know, it's been cool. So, and then the 20%, dude, I have one vlog where this guy was just insane. Like, it was like, and I knew what he was doing. He wanted me to flip out to leave. That's what I'm talking about. And it was getting unloaded. He called me worthless even at one point, and I just, you know, his coworker too was like, I'm talking to the higher ups. That was weird. I don't even know what to say to you, man. I said, it's all good, dude. I just drive, you know. You know, I just bring the goods here. I know what he wanted. He wanted me to flip out. 100%. He wanted me to say, I'm done with this. And that's where one of the last things I put too is looking for reasons to not load you. And I've seen it. I seen one guy, he deliberately, because he wasn't feeling it, he said, oh, I don't know, I don't think it'll fit, this, that, and I said my dimensions will, this and that. No, I tape measure, I didn't even put that on here. Whoop! Whip out that tape measure. Whoop! Like, when I know that the dimensions are close, you know, when I accept a load, like, that's when I'm like, I'll have it on me usually, or it's right in my truck. So that too, like, whip it up, like, he did that, and I measured it, and then he's like, oh, okay, so it will, and I'm like, yep. And then he did this number. He put it on a second pallet, which, it was just really weird. And I said, oh, well, if it's on a second pallet, it will not fit. And then he's like, oh, well, I mean, do you have another driver? It was so weird. And I'm like, well, no, I mean, this is my company. I mean, I don't have another driver, but I was like, if you put that second pallet on, it's not going to work. And he sat there. He's like, so you still want to get loaded? And I was like, yeah, dude. So that's what I'm saying. It's just, there's a lot of factors, because this is different. It's not as normalized. It is, though. It's getting there, but I didn't know this when I got into it, because, you know, like I said, I worked in companies where I filled straight trucks and semi trucks, and I worked at companies and I drove straight truck and big rigs. But my daughter, she's being good. She's just messing around. So the reason I wanted to make this video is because those are things that I didn't expect. And, you know, I've been in this industry. I didn't know that there would be anything different. Really? I just thought it would be really normal, like, oh yeah, come load the guy, go down the ramp, no big deal. I just thought that's the way it was, because, you know, that's business. But I didn't know that there were, so I wanted people to know these types of things so that they're not caught off guard too, because I'm like, dude, I'm here to give you product or pick up product to bring. So I was just like, that's something this guy taught me that really stuck home to me when I started with that company where I was driving straight truck. He said, remember, when people are acting wild or being crabby, we're just the drivers. And that stuck with me. And that's sort of the attitude I have is like, I'm just a driver, dude. Like, I don't care about all this, like, because they'll get upset. Like, why'd they have this, da-da-da, why'd they have a cargo van come? I'm like, I'm just a driver, dude. Like, talk to your logistics team. Like, talk to somebody, because talk to your logistics manager, because that's not me. So I'm gonna answer that call, but that was the end of the video. I hope you got something out of it. Everybody just keep hustling and be confident. That's the main thing. Be confident, don't be a jerk. That's pretty much it. So everyone keep hustling and keep striving.